Welcome, welcome, welcome here. I am Darkmoon. I am actually doing everything on stream for this, so we're just gonna put my name down for all of this. I just realized I didn't update anything here. There we go. We are doing a Duckling reveal right now for Franklin. They submitted a practice run that they did of EFT shards that we're going to go take a look at right now. I will be reviewing all of it. I don't know what the other VOD reviewers have done because I haven't watched the other VOD reviews so far, so you're just going to get my unfiltered, unedited information right here. Everything that you guys could want from my perspective, which I'm going to be harping on routing a lot. No apologies to Franklin if you haven't heard any of this before. I'm very big on routing specifically. That's the thing I care about more than anything. I did a bunch of the maps that are on the wiki right now for routing guides and where items are and everything like that, so I'm very big on routing. That's the thing I care about more than anything. So we're gonna be focusing on stuff and expect me to say a lot of stuff about routing and using river tiles and using door tiles, and that path that you just took probably isn't right. But for right now, let's get in. We're gonna be seeing Franklin's party, and we're gonna be evaluating. Whoa, that's loud. We're gonna be evaluating how things go from here and onwards. And bear with me as I'm going to be doing tracking and just about everything else as well for this. I'm going to keep an eye on chat when I can, but I've got like 8 things I'm balancing at once. So, let's see. Bounce forward. He's going to start his party. Oh, there we go, right there. Clean magic, 800 GP for the fighter, improved cat claw, promo fight, no, black belt's useless. Okay. Life on the white mage is kind of nice. Lock on the black mage is kind of nice. I personally would probably go thief, fighter, black-white, because I haven't seen anything that's too massively interesting. Even the luck on the black mage doesn't really matter that much, because the luck is going to get quickly outstripped, although it already starts outstripped, by the thief, and that's all you care about. Thief, fighter, white-black allows you to run from everything you can run from, allows you to avoid a bunch of stuff, necessary encounters coming in up front, because the thief has, I think, bonus 50 AGI, which isn't the best he could have in our flag sets, but still isn't bad. And fighter for fighter, because you're going to be looking for shards, you're going to be diving everything, you're going to be getting equipment, and you're going to be avoiding that black belt because, black belt's not worthwhile in this flag set. This is not a black belt flag set, this is a fighter flag set, in my opinion. Anytime you have to open boxes, that's fighter. This is something I've started doing when I can on my own seeds, naming them after specific bonuses they get. I don't feel like the lock is that important. But the life on the white mage, I do it mostly when I get a sage, because I always forget to promote for sage. So, like, I had a white mage in a run recently that I didn't note that they were a sage in their name, and I completely forgot about it and just didn't buy black magic spells on them later. So, that was on me. Yeah. So, they're good, they're prepped. I think they're going to start soon. They're probably just getting their timer going. Actually, hold on, they sit on this for a little while, so before let's skip ahead. I'm going to skip ahead to right before they get in. There we go, okay. So we're going to see. Yeah, it's a smart move to name your character when there's something important that's on them. That's not always easy to do, Vaughn, I see you in chat, but it is nice from time to time. So we've got, looks like Crescent Lake there. I would have immediately gone and checked for the item, but since we have mermaids here, it's not like it's a big penalty. When you have a town like that, you want to immediately go and check and save. Okay, they did the save. Save is good. And it's mermaids, so it's safe. I don't mind the initial check, that's fine. Mermaids is also hard to route. Without warp or exit, you're basically going to have to walk down this tunnel and then walk back out, so whether you do that before you check all the other chests or afterwards, you're doing it either way. So we got Ruby. I want to check on something before we get too much farther. It is EFT Shuffle, but I don't think it's an oops all loose EFT, and it is not. We've got Ice Cave Ordeals, Marsh Cave, Earth, Sea, Sky, and Canaria. For EFT, I tend to have a spreadsheet open that marks on the side where what the incentive locations are, and I'll check them off as I find them. So in this case, we've already found Sea Shrine, and it's, it's vanilla Sea Shrine anyway, so checking mermaids was a good idea, but still, check it off if you need to remind yourself you've done Sea. You don't need to check the items in Sea, especially if you're already good on shards, although why you're in here if you're good on shards anyway. But it is EFT Shuffle, so you might be like, I have to dive down past this floor and see to get to something else to see what's there. Check it off, you don't have to check on it later, especially good in an oops all loose. Anyway, let's get back to this. See what else they have. They already have their magic buying money for whenever they find Canaria or Provoca or whatever. Hopefully they find some EXP boxes. Especially early on, some EXP boxes would be really nice. There you go. Yeah, look at that. Anyway, yeah, so routing this floor, the most important thing on this floor specifically is just learning where their treasure chests are. I tend to go up to after checking that room that they checked, I go to Bubbles, then I go check the other side room of this quartet, then I check the bottom two of the quartet, and then leave. And that light axe is lovely for that white mage, because guess what? That's some of the only casting magic you have right now, so you... No, white mage. White mage. Go, white mage. The white mage has harm all. I think he's forgotten which one's the... Yeah, there you go. They'll get it. Can Fighter equip the Light Axe? Yes, Fighter could equip the Light Axe, and it is good damage, especially at a +5. But at the same time, with White Mage Harm All, and not having any charges of Magic Vaughn, you definitely want to use that Light Axe where it's going to do the most good, and right now, that's going to be the White Mage. Eventually, you could move it to the Fighter, but Fighter's also probably going to find a sword at some point, and it's going to be more effective just to use the sword on the Fighter. I think axes have a lower chance to hit by Bubbles. So an axe, even at a +5, is generally not going to be as good as a sword, as long as the sword isn't like a minus. And we're talking like a flame sword, rune sword, coral sword, like a saber versus a light axe. Use the light axe. Ozloto in chat, very happy that we just carved it. Go talk to the sages, please. Thank you. Please don't leave before talking to the sages, please. Not checking armor, not checking weapons, I approve. The thing here, so let's discuss that for a second. I know others have mentioned this, but do you check weapons and armor shops when you're in a town? If elite gear and armor and stuff is on, so like ribbons or ice armor or fire armor can show up in a shop, sure, I'll check. I like to check that. I will check weapon shops if all weapons cast magic is on. Neither of those things are on here. So if it's not Canaria and I'm not just breezing past it, I'm not checking weapons and armor shops. And honestly, even in Canaria, I'm probably not checking it. My thought is you have to open boxes, especially early on, to get money and other things you need. And as such, checking weapons and armor shops is moot, because you're probably going to find something you're going to use instead anyway. I only check weapons and armor out of desperation at all, because you're always going to find something. And yeah, this is an unsafe start for entrance to town floor shuffle. Even Canaria is in the pool, so you can find whatever you can find. Matoya has a ribbon. I see someone's checking hint givers. That is not something I ever do, but you feel free. And we got TNT for dwarves. Though, yeah, I need to go check those things, don't I? Let me mark the tracker. I'm the only tracker here as well. So where did my tracker go? Tracker is here. So we got Ruby, and we got just now something. Ugh. Thankfully, I left it up. TNT. Yay! Okay. And there we go. And they're marking it off and taking notes, and that's fine. I expect as much. I've lost my chat window. Come here, chat. Come here, chat. There we go. Thank you. I mean, it's not necessarily bad to look at an armor shop if you're trying to find a pro ring or something else, but I don't check. I don't. Speed. I go in for speed. And I respect if people others don't. I know other vets will not. Hey, Mapderp. I just tend to. There's Sarda, so we're going to get another item from them. And yeah, when you have a weapon that casts magic, and you have a light axe that casts magic, I don't feel the need to check armor shops. I just don't. 3 item checks in a row. I want to check on something. Let's just have this discussion while we're here. I have the flags up so we can look. Scaling is based on item. So actually, 3 item checks early on is kind of nice. You're going to get boosted experience for a little bit. That's plus 10% on the scaling. And I mean, it all just adds up a little better to take some of the earlier fights now than later, although not this one. Things like that. And yeah, the crystal becomes a future ribbon, as Fellison points out. I think I'd end up turning it in whether or not I knew that, so it doesn't feel like a huge deal for me to know that right now, but still, I mean, nice. Synth Pyro pointing out that they're doing encounter burning, which is very good. They know that there's an encounter early on. They're burning that off when they can. And we have March save outside, please. So, one thing I like to point out is to save outside, especially in an EFT shuffle. You don't know how tall this tower is going to be. You don't know if it's going to lead to something that you need to know right this second. You don't know what the encounters are going to be on the floors coming down from here. And you've walked over from Topher, I think, without, or maybe middle of the road without saving. So even with burning, you're further away from this entrance than you probably want to be. Save outside, please. So they're using lava tiles for the most part, although they missed the occasional one here or there. But we're going to point out something. There is the wall right here that is next to the doorway. You can check the bottom chest on the left. You can check the bottom chest on the right, all while touching that wall right there, and you don't increment the encounter table at all. Franklin didn't do this. Franklin walked from one chest to the other in the middle. He took, actually, 2 extra unneeded steps there, maybe at least 1. And for the record, yes, every single step, it does count. This is why I harp on this. You want to minimize how many steps you expose. He exposed a step before the door off the lava tile. He exposed a step here. There have been times where I am literally 1 step away from escaping in Marsh Cave, for example, and then I get blasted by blaze spiders because Danny rolled the seed. You want to minimize your steps as much as you can because you never know when that encounter is coming, and it could literally be 1 step from exit. If they saved after bridge, that's still 20 steps away from the entrance to the dungeon. You want to maximize every step. Every step. Steps matter. Yeah, as Rube says, that we've all died to lobsters after immediately defeating Chaos and Kraken, and then died. And see right here, there's that ice sword. So we don't need to swing the light axe. The ice sword is better. Light axe can just stay on the white mage. Good use of steps there. Not checking that treasure chest. I mean, there's nothing here at Volcano, we know that, but you are still looking for shards. So I'd probably still check. Oh yeah, there's no encounter tiles. Ice Sword's better than Flame Sword on broad damage, and I think they're both +2, so... I mean, we're checking. This is just one of those things you learn. Ice Sword is better than Fire Sword. Armor-wise, they're the same. Ice armor, fire armor, ice shield, fire shield. But when it comes to swords, Ice Sword's better than Fire Sword. And we are in for a bit of a tower. Again, it's vanilla item placement, so we know that the... here, you know, just for the sake of it, let me double-check the flags. I'm pretty sure it's vanilla on everything. But it is, yeah, vanilla item placement. So we know that the treasure chest that we're looking for in Earth Cave is at the Vampire. We don't need to check any of these others, but still, shard hunt. This isn't EFT shards, so we should be looking for shards. And we're not checking the top, and we skipped some of the chests on the volcano floor, even though the volcano floor has lava tiles. But now we're checking over here, which I find a little questionable. I would have, if we're going to check everything, we should check everything. If we're not going to check everything, I'm definitely going to skip all the chests on this floor just because they're so out of the way. So. That's just the thing. This is more just a consistency point that I'm making, is have a strategy, commit to the strategy. If you're not going to do one way, that's fine, but make sure you're sticking to that one way. Yeah, as Rubes points out, we don't know how deep this dungeon is. We need to be able to get out. Volcano steps are just safer. This is a tower. Wow. And a dead end. So here's the other thing. Yeah, I could just recognize it's the dead end right off the bat. So, we got an ice sword, we got a fire sword. Those are on the Agama floor, which was 2 floors deep into the dungeon. We didn't even bother checking for some of the shards and so forth, which, I mean, if you're going to walk out, you may as well go check the rest of them. But, we got, like, 3 shards and a sword, and most of that was on Agama floor. I might, in fact, just reset out and come back in for Agama floor and save myself all this time. But... Or just reset out and not even bother because it's just 3 shards and we know there's other stuff going on. Yeah, so, like, I don't know that, like, the way that this was handled was good. You gotta be ruthless about your resets. That's another thing I'm gonna harp on. But if you're gonna, like, we did it, we walked it out. I feel like that was a time loss. Just because I didn't feel like there was enough that was found that was worth walking it all the way back out. It was like a minute to walk out, and that minute can matter. For a tower that deep that ends at a dead end, there wasn't that much that was valuable there. There were no key items that we found, maybe a couple shards, and that sword. And again, we do have that light axe, so on the flip side, because you have the light axe, if you're desperate for something to swing, you can just swing the light axe and ignore the ice and fire swords that were there. Like, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. What's your best bet? I think resetting out saves more time. So. And here we have Quinaria. So now we have our spells that we can pay for and everything else. And I feel even better about that skip. Like, just resetting out of that. Vorpal on Tunnel Floor. Okay. Well, it's a Vorpal -1, so I'm not going to use it. And we're writing down that Vorpal. I don't know that I'd do that. Okay, Ice 2 and Temper. Fire 2 sucks. I'm taking Ice 2 over Fire 2. I'm not buying both. And I'm taking that Temper. And then we have White Magic, which is Invis 2. And a bunch of crap I'm never going to use anyway. I don't use the A spells. Hell, I don't even use them when they're as a bonus to learn A spell, gain this or that. I just don't think about it. Wow, there's not a lot here, Quinaria. That sucks. Well, at least we got something for the Black Mage to do. We already have the Light Axe, so there's something for the White Mage to do. And we can keep walking. Okay, no canoe, so we have to walk back. But I don't mind this, because if Provoca had been there, there was a good chance the ship would have been there. Could have been a turn-in, could have been something. Who knows? The thing about, like, I get using A-Rub or something else against Chaos because he can have nasty spells. I don't say no to that, but that's time I have to spend buying spells. And then keeping it around in my inventory and paying attention to it, and I just don't. Also, so, the forest out front is not a safe tile. Don't save on the entrance, save a step outside the entrance, so you reset so you get an extra step. Again, every step matters. Every step. It's a Cardia. The fire floor above is pretty safe to walk on. And we got 2 shards here. Don't check the other... Thank you. Go out the other door. It's faster to just go out the other door when you've already walked over that direction. God, what's this? 3, 4 shards? And a heal helm? I mean, the heal helm's not spectacular, per se. But I've actually used a heal helm in a Chaos fight before because it was the only consistent healing I had, and I got through it. I think I survived with 29 damage, and all of that was because my thief was casting heal helm for my party. And he got like 2 rounds of it off, and I survived. I mean, sometimes that happens. Heal helm's not great in general, but you never know when in an emergency you kind of need it. So... And of course, we've already seen that most of these are done checks, so we can check off, like, just from a tracking standpoint, because you probably should have a spreadsheet or a piece of paper or something. Toph is done, Canaria Location's done, Canaria Castle's done, Matoya's done, Provoca's done, Dwarfs is done. And I don't think any of those were things we need to revisit. I'm pretty sure none of them are things that we need to revisit. Now, of course, it's been 11 minutes, so I've already forgotten. But... in that case, I just do a check mark for all of them. I don't even bother marking down what's below, because we're done. Maybe at the Matoya entrance, if I decide to reset out, say, 3 shards here, come back if necessary, or just 3 shard, because the comeback if necessary is implied. But in general, I'm just checking all of those off on my spreadsheet, and I'm not even bothering to take notes on them, because they're just done. Razor one. If you write down, you lose the fun of the struggle. Yeah, I mean, if I knew that any of them were someplace I was going to have to revisit, I write down the location for them. But we've done 5, 6 entrances right now, and none of them were key. I'm not even going to write down that Ordeals is here. I'm just going to do Ordeals and then put a check mark next to it afterwards. Sin, Franklin's a person after your own heart. Why is that? Now, when I'm doing these, I'm saying down, up, for each of the choices as I get to them. Sometimes I get confused. I'm also noting to myself in my head which of the quadrants around the center I've done. They look similar to me, so I need to note which quadrant I've finished up so that I know if I get reset back to them that I've been here before. So, like, okay, goes to upper quadrant, goes to upper and lower quadrant, up, down, down, up, that kind of thing. And then I'll mark them down in my notes if I think I have to come back. Oh, look, there's an ice sword again. Resetting out a volcano wouldn't have even been a big deal. So that Maddie location is literally right down 3 shards. I'm resetting out, and I'm hoping I get another sword later. And then we did. So, see? There. Yeah. Opal Sled, not the end of the world. Don't care. And at this point, honestly, we've gotten enough experience. I'm even resetting out of experience chests if there's nothing valuable found. So, like, I want experience for the end game, yes. But 4,000... Okay, well, 8,000 is maybe a bit better. But 4,000 experience split among 4 party members is not enough for me to really care about. We do need the cube, though, so we're going to stick around for this and reset out. And there's no encounter at the end, so yay. That was a really safe floor. We get to keep all of that. We got our ice sword. We're happy. Good times. And I put a check mark, and I don't even bother writing down that was ordeals, because we're done. Going to Marsh Cave is fine. I don't mind going here. We have, like, we don't even know if it's actually Marsh Cave. We don't even know it's here. May as well just check it before we go to Elf, because it's on the way. This is the move I would do. Yes, and that was a fantastic... Oh, thank you for reminding me of tracking. We got the cube. He has cube, crystal... Apparently... He's got tail marked off, but I didn't see tail, and tail wasn't free, I don't think. That might just be a tracker thing he didn't mark off. I'm going to double check, though. No free tail, and I didn't find tail, and we definitely haven't found Bahamut, so his tracker that I can see that's marked off is not true. I'm going to ignore that tail for now, but we do have cube. So let's put the cube on. You will need to remind me throughout this that I need to actually do tracking, because I'm bad at tracking. Well, it's double-clicked, so I'm curious about why he has that. But, okay, here's Dwarf, and we have TNT, so we can do that turn-in. Wow, the evasive Hooray Dwarf did not want to die. Oh, Razor, if you'd like to do it, yeah, 1 second. I'm sorry, everyone. Let me pass the tracker off to Razor so someone who's actually reliable will do this. 1 moment, please. Razor. Come on, Razor. And Razor is now our tracker. Everyone, congratulations to Razor. I can now start ignoring that. Woo! Razor, feel free to slap your name on there. I mean, if you miss key items, at least that's not on me anymore. There's our canoe. So that gives us some stuff. And now I can start harping on river navigation as well. You want to use every river crossing you can to save steps. Save those steps, please. If you find a bend in a river that you're going to be walking across, walk across both parts of the bend. Walk on every single river to not river tile and back that you can to save those steps. Everyone's discussing the evasive Hooray Dwarf and how to properly talk to him. I just don't. Here we have Provoca, so we've got level 1 and level 2 covered already. Not saving and immediately going to Pirates. So let's discuss this for a second. Do you check Pirates before you check spells? Early in the game where you might not have the money to buy your spells, it's kind of a 6 of one, half a dozen of the other for me. I know a lot of people like to talk to Pirates first so you get the money. I tend to forget to go and buy my magic if I talk to Pirates first, so I have to physically remind myself to do it. So I will go buy spells before I talk to Pirates unless I know I'm really poor on cash. Sometimes this bites me because then I have to go back and buy a spell that I didn't have the money to buy. That happens. But Provoca money is usually fairly cheap, and there's generally plentiful cash in the early game to let you buy your Canaria stuff and your Provoca stuff before you have to talk to the Pirates. Here, this late, there's no benefit to it. You already have plenty of cash because you've checked half the dungeons around the Circle C. And you can easily go buy your spells before you talk to the Pirates. I would just go buy the magic, because you never know. It's effective to just get it out of the way. And then you have the Pirates, and then you have your item, and then you walk back up and save at the end, and you're done. I feel like that's probably just personal routing. I don't know if it really saves time, quote unquote, but it gets it out of the way, and then you don't have to think about it. Once you're done checking the item shop to make sure you've done everything, you just go to the inn, you save, check your box off, and move on. That's me. Others are saying we have Ice 2, and we have a Thor Hammer, and we have a Harm Sword, Harm Stick, whatever, that will cast stuff, and that's fair. I get it. It's personal preference. I know my brain, and my brain says you need to go buy magic before you do anything else so you don't forget about it. And we could be in a situation where we didn't have anything worth casting, and you might want to do this, and having magic is definitely better than trying to melee down the pirates. I think everyone's going to have their own personal take on that. What did the pirates have? I missed it. Looks like there was Crown, and I see... Crown's for sale. Canal, thank you. Okay. So we don't have a ship, so we can't get out of the Circle C yet, but we do have a big waste of water over there now that we can use whenever we get there. Adamant on floor 1 of Gurgu, that's... Oh, that's right, that's per location. Okay, so Harm 3 and Cure 4, those are nice to see. That's Gurgu Volcano location, not the floor itself, because I'm like, top floor doesn't have anything. And hey, look, there's Nuke. Well, we're good for black magic. We just need a haste spell, and then I would stop checking black altogether, honestly. When do you stop checking magic? We can discuss this while we're going and killing Lich. So... So the thing is with magic, the further deep you get into the menu, the more you have to actually menu it. The more buttons you have to press. And the higher levels, you aren't going to have a ton of charges anyway. If I'm desperate for magic and I need something like I still need my fast, I still need my temper, I'll go check upper level magics. But if I have most of the solutions done for what I care about, nice cake, well done. If I have most of the solutions I need for stuff done right now, early, like Nuke and Temper and maybe a Haste at level 3 or 4, I'm going to probably stop checking magic altogether. We got a Cure, we got Cure 4, we got a couple different things for the White Mage to do. I would like to find Life, but they have Life already. And with Mid-Topher, I kind of feel like that's good enough. It's a risk. It's a risk I'm willing to take. Yeah, I don't know if I would have walked to the end to save for that one instead of just... Oh, nice river, you see? The bounce, bounce, bounce that was back and forth there, they didn't get any encounter steps on any of those crossings there. So that was... They walked on the river, they walked off the river at a slightly... down, over, down, over, down, over. That was 6 steps they took. None of those were going to get an encounter because they walked on and off for every single one of them. That's good usage right there. Key is at Eastern Cardia. The problem with checking level 5 is that level 5 is the most navigation you're going to have to do of any spell in the game. You'll get charges, and I'll still check it, but I hate it when there's something I actually need there, because I have to then navigate to it in the menu. I would honestly prefer to have a spell I'm only going to get 2 charges of at level 8, than having to navigate to the same spell at level 5. So we know where Key is, we're just looking for loot, and obviously without the docks on, and that being at, I think, Cardia Forest is specifically what it said, we're gonna need to have the floater. Unless, I don't think Bahamut Cardia Treasury is on maps. No, Bahamut Horde is not on, so yeah, we will need the floater for that. Sky is vanilla, so we only need to check one of these chests, but we should check... most of that. Well, I really hate Sky Spider because it's so drawn out. But we do have the firepower to kill some stuff out here. Maybe we go and check one side, go outside, pop a house, if we have a house, come back in, check the other side. That's efficient routing, and we might get some more eyes, especially if that was off the encounter tile. I'd also... I mean, Stinger's not the end of the world. Ambush kind of sucks, but... Gurnog didn't fight for anything. And this is one of the most lucrative fights that you can get. You've got level 2 nuke. I would have taken that. That's just me. I would have taken that. The walking grind is real. Walking grind better than tile grind. Anytime. Weir Sword's not anything worthwhile. Shard. We're almost halfway on shards. Weird sword's not worth equipping. Just by default, ice and fire swords are going to be better than wear and rune and whatever, unless you're using it to fight a specific boss to get the elemental damage, obviously. But raw damage-wise, ice is better than your fire is better than your wear, your rune, your coral. So if all we're talking about is raw damage for monster packs, ice. Don't even check the wear. Yeah, there's no trap tiles in this flag set, Sin Pyro. So, and we've lost that eye that we got. We go back for that? Nope. Oh, okay. I mean, that was mean, but that's why you have nuke. Nuke on those guys before they can kill you. And I'd also nuke this party because we need experience. The walking grind is real. Where are... Which ones... I'm curious over which ones we're actually checking. Because there's two on the bottom as well, and we didn't check that one. Ah. I feel like navigation on some floors could be cleaned up. If you're going to check this floor, check all of this floor. If you're not going to check this floor, don't check any of this floor. And I mean, if the rock galls are the concern, then the rock galls are the concern. Don't check any of this floor, just get the adamant and get out. I respect that. But I'm curious, of, like, I'm confused over this specific routing. All I'm saying. Into Acardia. I mean, and at this point, like, you know, like, so here's a way that I would do this, knowing that the rock galls are there. Save outside, walk to a room. If you get a rock gall, reset. If you don't get a rock gall and there's nothing worthwhile in that room, reset. Otherwise, maybe walk the room out, save it, go in for another room. You can specifically target the rooms that actually have shards in them, and you can avoid all the worry about the rock galls if they show up and kill you. And then maybe in the process you get an eye or a Gurnaga pack, and it's really nice. So. And I don't walk this out. I just don't. But okay. Be ruthless with your resets and your saves. Again, that's something I feel like we need to emphasize. You need to really manage your time on something like this, especially in a flag set like this. Because we're talking about, like, at this point, getting into high-level play, and every second counts. You need to be able to save those seconds, and that's... a floor navigation like that, I feel like, loses more time than it gains. Exactly. Go in, get the adamant, reset out. I think there were some shards on that floor, if you're really concerned about it, but... I mean, we walked away from other treasure chests that could have had shards. I'm iffy on that. And plus, we're already halfway, and we still have Kraken, Tia, and Carrie that we could potentially kill. So, yeah, don't save on the door. Save outside the door. Save that step. Looks like shards are 26, and they already have, if I'm not mistaken, 14. 28, okay. And they already have, like, 14. They're already halfway, and they have 10 from bosses out in the pool. So I don't necessarily hate skipping chests, specific chests, if you are targeting certain things. And let's discuss what is our end game. Our end game is based on the fact that in the pool, we have a Vorpal sword, gross, which we already know is -1, and a ribbon, and the tail. So to use that Vorpal, we'd need the tail. And, I mean, any good sword that we're going to get, we're going to need... Oh, please, again, walk along the bottom. Don't waste all those steps. So I don't feel like that Vorpal's viable. So we do need to check some boxes for other items that are going to be in the pool. Maza, or Excal, or Katanas, or something. I mean, I guess you could try and dive with that ice sword, but no. I'd want, like, if I'm going to use a fighter sword, I'd definitely want, like, a Sun Sword +3 or something. Also not checking the bottom 3 chests. Which, I guess, yeah, they're out of the way, but... I don't know. But checking these. Oh! I guess that's the Maza. Well, look, we found the Maza. I don't think we take this. Marking that down so that you know, but, And this is Ice Cave? And that was a couple or 3 floors deep. I don't think we're coming back for that mech. At least I wouldn't. Level 14 with an ice sword and just a couple shots of nuke. That war mech was not viable. Sorry. Sorry to chat who wanted to see the chicken. War mech was not viable right now. With the power bunk and a Roostek, war mech might be viable. A pro ring. Okay, we're slowly building up to maybe taking the war mech out if we decide to walk out of here. Like, please put the power bunk up front. Thank you. Good for navigation. There we go. Can't use the heal. Could use the silver. Silver helmet's right there. Go, go, go. There you go. Much better. Yeah, copper's not worth using. Cloth's not worth using. Oh. Nope. Thief doesn't get to wear much. Yeah, throw that out. That's garbage. Pro ring. Put that up on the thief. Or, okay, on the black mage, sure. I'd probably put on the thief, because he could use the armor up front. But still. And then, I don't think we found a ruse yet. So, I still don't necessarily want to fight that war mech. I mean, we do have some shots of Invis 2 off the white mage, but I don't necessarily want to fight that war mech yet. I don't feel comfortable with it. I also probably wouldn't have full healed. I just would have stopped at 261 for that thief, but that's to conserve pots. Thankfully, we have the crown. He's going to give us the bottle, which doesn't help us yet. I don't think we didn't find... Did we find Gaia? Someone refresh me if we found Gaia. Okay. Bottle does help then. Cool. Well, that's good to see. And we're going to walk this out because we have to. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Dark Alphastos, being at the bottom here. That's a run. Thank you. Got the ambush. We're going to run. Even though... I don't know why we walked a step backwards, but this is a gross ambush. Thanks, game. Yeah, run away from that. Catmen are not worth fighting. Yeah, this is the part where we wish so goes on, because instead of running from those catmen, I would, Fellison, I would absolutely have just let them kill me. Where are we going? You don't have the key yet. You can't check the key locks. Oh, they were trying to see if they could exit out that way. Nope, this just drops you back down a floor. Isn't that rude? Yeah, the only way you can use that to actually escape is if it's a specific tile that's meant as an exit, like a boss kill or ice loops exit stairs, or if you're in a town and you save an exit. Unfortunately. Also, heads up, my wife is coming home, and she is bringing me a bagel, so I will try not to chew too loudly into the microphone, but I do want my bagel. It is an everything toasted with herb cheese, and I want my bagel. This is a breakfast vodcast, or breakfast from... Oh, please say we get away from this. I don't want to come back down here. Well then. Okay, well, that's fun. Bike team. Yeah, I would feel bad about that too. Well, we know where we need to go. I think we need to come back in here and do this again. Yup. And yeah, knowing that that pack is on that floor, I'm not taking that war mech. Not until I have some ribbons or some armor that will mitigate that, because that's just disgusting. And that shows the power of a level 2 sweeper. We scoff at them, but every once in a while they show up and they're just nasty. No, don't... There wasn't any... Hey, Wife Moon.
Hey!
Chat says hi, by the way.
Hi, chat.
I didn't think there was anything here that was worthwhile. Okay, he's navigating through the middle. That's the right path. I just want to emphasize that. There's an upper path, a lower path, and a middle path. And the middle path kind of weaves through the center, but the middle path is shorter than everything else by, like, 4 steps. I think top path is next shorter, and then bottom path is, like, 10 steps longer, I want to say. Someone... Falconic measured it out at one point, and oh yeah, we lost, like, a bunch of shards there, too. That sucks. But yeah, so, it's best to take the middle path. I saw a drawing that they wrote up at one point, and they counted it, and it's something along those lines. That don't quote me exactly on that. But it is shortest, and since we're emphasizing every step, I mean, hard to know if we were going to escape. Honestly, if we hadn't done the double back to Astos' castle, we'd probably get off that floor without seeing those Nagas. So, see? Not to beat someone when they're down, I'm just pointing out. And we're already halfway through this siege, just looking at the timeline. Yeah, I was thinking about coming back here to check this. I think there's experience, there's a shard or two, and there's that pro ring. So, and the power bonk. Yeah, we needed the power bonk. That power bonk makes this check worthwhile, as does that pro ring. Move that silver helmet up again, remember that. I mean, silver helmet's not going to save you against those Nagas, but it will save you against some other stuff that's going to punch you. There we go. And trust me, it takes a while to get used to just seeing the whole of the game like this. Ooh, bagel time.
Yep,
Hello.
bagel, sure.
Thank you.
There you go.
Do the Essos again. I'm going to chew while this happens. Hopefully that's not too loud for everyone. Bagel too good, though. Everyone should go get bagels. It's a bagel stream now. It's not educational, it's not judgmental, it's bagel. Ooh, gross ambush. Thanks, game. Thankfully we have life, so if we can get away from this pack, that's fine. I might even have thought about nuking it. Just to make sure I got away. Just as a thought. Because if you don't run with the fighter and the white mage, I don't want to take all those punches from the lobsters. I probably would have nuked it. Oh, the ambush. Thank you, game. I was about to be real worried. Okay, so we got Lich floor. Before that, sea floor. We haven't seen anything on this Lich floor that makes navigating back down here that bad. Yeah, up, thank you. So that was kind of a couple steps wasted, so it's not quite as efficient when you're not running along the top, but I also understand navigating out of this floor, it's kind of sucky. I've done it wrong myself. I think I just did it wrong on a race, so... And from here, what's above this? Is there anything above this? Okay, yeah, see, that Warmech is like 3 minutes deep. I know it has the Maza, but I struggle to think if it's really worth going back for it. Anyway, we're back on the move again. And now we get to decide where to go next, because... Well, we have Bottle Return to Gaia. And that basically has to be floater or ship. There's no other way for it. And yeah, Fellison, who's better at this game than I am, says going back to that Warwick is not worth it. And I agree. I think I only keep it in my back pocket if I run into a Topher that's just too hard for me to get through with my build-out at that point. Try to remember where Gaia is. Crescent Lake, I assume, because that's the only place I could think it would be. Apparently, I'm wrong. This is why I should be taking notes when I'm playing. I wasn't taking notes. Really, wolves? Really? Just a rude ambush. Yeah, I want to say Provoca is here. I think this is Provoca area, isn't it? I was right. We used a house. I don't think saving here was worthwhile. Where are we? And I guess we picked up... Oh, you're very good at this game, Felson. That's right, we also have Adamant to turn in, so I guess one of these could be Ship and the other one could be Bottle, but still, I would have turned in Bottle first. And apparently I would have been wrong. Okay. So, Adamant and Bottle turned in, or Adamant turned in, Adamant became Floater. Bottle was achieved, but we haven't actually turned that Bottle in yet. Still, Gaia was right there at Crescent Lake. Proximity's right there. Sure, this is going to be more efficient to turn in, but you didn't know the Floater was going to be here. And if Floater was at Crescent Lake Gaia, and you turned it in there, it's faster to fly over to that town to turn in fly over to Dwarves at Marsh Cave to turn that in that Adamant. So, proximity play says go to Crescent first, even if routing in this particular seed says otherwise. So. And yet, going south to the desert is, I think, more efficient, Rubes, you're right. I'm gonna get shorter steps, at the very least. Unless you know that there's something on the overworld in that section that's particularly gross. And that makes the river... you didn't turn in your floater, you saved. There you go. And there's the bottle that we need to turn in, and do that at Gaia, please. Go do that. Go. Nope, that's not... Okay. Love the Airwolf sound. And there's Elflin. Let's go see what we have in the way of spells. This is the last of the magic I'm going to buy. Especially because there's Fast. Oh, I'm definitely done now. Okay, I take the Tier 3. Now, I will check level 4 magic, because you never know what Life 2 might show up. But yeah, after this, I'm not checking magic. I'm done. See, Life! And Wall! We good, fam. We good. So, Sinpyro makes a good point. If we check for... Oh, hey, there's Warp. Okay. If we check Melman for exit, that'd be nice. But we do have level 4 Warp now, so I don't feel like checking Melman for exit matters anymore. Sure. Vaughn pointing out about improved fire, light, ice is available, and we're finding these spells now. If you found them earlier, that'd be great. We've got Nuke. Nuke is the improved everything. So we don't. Still not turning in that bottle, and now it's not in our inventory, and I really am concerned. Like, we know where Key is, because it's in this forest, because we got a hint about that. But if bottle leads to loot, then we don't have bottle yet, and we don't have our go mode, and we don't know where go mode is, and without the bottle in the inventory, yes, he's got a tracker. Is he going to remember that even with the tracker? Also, if you're gonna check all these floors, go check if you're gonna check these chests on this floor, I would go check everything because you still need shards. I know this is the greed room, this is the best of the rooms, but you need shards. You're not even halfway yet. Cube block, and we have cube. That's nice. And ice loop, which is incentivized, and we just got warp. So we can just warp into here, and then warp immediately back out if we're not going to check everything. Although, again, I might drop down and actually keep the committed to this one, and check the, check the 6-pack. But if you warp out, I respect that as well. We had enough warp charges, didn't we? I wouldn't have walked any of those floors. I know, it's hard to remember how many floors down you've gone, and I've gotten lost on some of these deep towers, but, like, it's good to have an eye towards how many floors you've walked down when you're going down, just a gut instinct, because you had 4 charges and you had 4 floors. So, you could have immediately exited out of all of that. And yeah, chat is discussing still the fact that we've popped bottle and haven't actually turned it in yet. From experience, even with a tracker, I have forgotten. Flame armor, white shirt. I feel like our armor is getting to the point where I'm good enough with it to go to Topher on that. Oh, and we have an opal shield for when we class change, and we have an no, we're good armor wise. I don't see a great need to do much more armor digging. Flame for the ninja, ice for the fighter, or vice versa. They're the same. Oh, we have dragon. Never mind. Flame or ice for the ninja, dragon for the fighter. I wouldn't have grabbed that flame with the ice armor that was already on me, honestly. But, class change. Hope for a better weapon than the ice sword +4 we're swinging. Which will do the job. Enough temper and fast and anything will do the job. But, hope for a better sword. And marsh bottom, so we're just going to walk back, or warp back out of here, I should say. Yeah, and talking about the ice loop, the 6-pack is a nice, dense location check. It's easy to get to, especially because there's ice tiles there. Like, in all respects. And you definitely need to memorize what the dead ends look like. I'm just saying. Here is Titan. Oh, we didn't check Sarda and Titan locations. Another thing to point out, we immediately flew from floater area to Gaia location, which wasn't Gaia, because Gaia was at Crescent Lake and we didn't turn in the bottle. And so we haven't, like, done Sarda and Titan West to know what might be there. Also, we didn't... When you have warp or exit, after you talk to the Titan... Here. Walk up to the stairs before then going and checking the Titan Trove. Also, why are we checking Titan Trove if we're willing to skip the 6-pack? But, go to the top, exit, then come back in after saving to come down. Because you can either reset or warp out of this, depending upon whether or not there's anything worth saving. You have warp, use your warp efficiently. Okay, play, please. There you go. Here's Carrie. Carrie's nice to have. I would have, if you'd flown here with Sarda, though, you wouldn't have to check this. Like, you do it because you're here, but I also feel like this would have been better done with the floater. honestly. There we go. Carry dies to nuke because scaling is low on this flag set. We get 2 more shards. We're on our way. Still, time lost because you're walking this instead of flying it. Good use of resets. Well done. You're very fast on the reset button, and I appreciate that. Honestly, I might have just tried to run from that shadow fight. Although I haven't been paying attention to the encounter table to know, like, how many fights there are in a row before the hero run. So, clearly it's 5. I was gonna say, okay, girls, you can stop now. Also, I gotta say, I love the Titans exits, where both exits are on the Bahamut continent. That one always makes me laugh. That was a free run. I don't know why we reset out of that. And it is, like, 5. Oh, what? They've been doing resetting out of like 4 or 5 encounters to get to it, and it looks like after 5, it's a hero run of at least a certain length. But that also means that once you're burned through the hero run, you're back to bunched up encounters again. There's our free ribbon, so that's the last of the endgame bits that I felt like we needed. Put on the white mage for now, because they have life and life in 2 different spots. Now you got a pro ring for the fighter to help him out. Pro ring's always better. Keep the pro ring equipped because of the death protection. And then, when you're at the final fight, you'll switch the ribbon over to your fighter if you remember. And of course that's important, is remembering. Don't grab these 2. You don't need these. You don't need this. Okay. Okay. So since chat's out discussing it, let's discuss the encounter table here. I fall on the side of when you have this many encounters at the start of a hard reset, and it takes that long to burn through them, I don't feel like it's worth it. I don't feel like it's worth hard resetting for that at all at that point. Me, personally, I'm just going to save at each location I get to and do soft resets the whole time. And I'm just going to let it ride. And if I get into a bad section of the encounter table, I know I can just reset out of it a bunch of times before I go in and actually do my dive. I'll hit some areas where I'm just bunched up in the middle of a dungeon, and I understand this. But I personally feel like when the start of your encounter table is that bad, there is no point in doing a hard versus a soft. You should just continue burning through the table and let the chips fall where they may. And I know there are some pros that are gonna like burn the first set of encounters no matter what, and that's gonna work for them. I don't feel like it works for me. We don't have rods, so I would just reset out of this floor. I wouldn't even check it. Oh wait, no, never mind. Never mind. Sorry. Vampire is incentivized. It's vanilla. And knowing this game, there's a good chance Rod is sitting at vanilla. So in that case, yeah, we need to check this to see what's here. If it's loot, then we warp it out. If it's Rod, then we keep diving. If it's anything else, what is left? Oxyale, Chime, Herb, Slab. God, I'd hate it if it was Slab. But I also know it's probably Slab. Because that's how this game works. Slab into Rod would be exactly what this game would do. What we got? Chime. Okay, so we can't dive any further, but we can warp out of here. And this is Marsh Split, and we've already checked the bottom, so we're done at this location. And we're not checking the rest of Cardia's. We're flying away. I don't necessarily understand. Efficiently, you'd go check the rest of the islands, and then come over here and do Onrak Continent if you can. And Onrak's probably may not even be at, well, it might be at Lufane. So, and then you come and do Volcano, or not Volcano, Waterfall, and then you come do this. I feel like that's more efficient for the amount of time that you're flying. You just immediately got Chime, you're chasing it, and it leads to Kraken, which is great. But there are checks we still need to do, and there's nothing on this floor. This floor is a dead floor except for Kraken. So I feel like continuing to do the Cardias would have been more efficient, as this proves. You always want to fly efficiently. Fellison, yes, you are correct. You can save on the door at Chime location because you can just walk off onto the shadow and then walk back on. And the shadow of the tower cannot get encounters for some weird reason of coding. However, I just save on the shadow. You want to ingrain in your head to always save outside the dungeon door instead of on the dungeon door. Saving on the tower builds a bad habit, in my opinion. Yet Mirage Shadow can't get encounters, and the bottom two tiles of the volcano can't get encounters. So while you can't save on them, you can save right below them, or right off to the side of them, and not get encounters when you walk on. It's weird. Say goodbye to the Lifecaster, who also had the white shirt and the Invis casts. I would have put that white shirt on a different person for this one. You are really hosed here. This is not going well at all. Kraken get a punch again? Kraken get a punch again. Can we survive? Wow! Okay, we need to save, and then we need to go hit a town and like... No, heal! Heal! Always heal. You never know when the lobsters are going to show up. And we're going to take the Tyro. Fair, you're actually swinging for decent damage against it. I don't necessarily mind this. And you're dumping experience on the fighter, which I love. Because he's already reaching his endgame levels now. Go to Gaia location. Go to Crescent location. Go somewhere and revive your dudes. I feel like this was the longest way away you could have done. Okay, sure. I'm picky about routing, I did say. I'm sorry. 6 shards from go, but we still need that loot, and we don't know where it is. And we still haven't done the bottle turn-in. Hey, Razor, when you're back, we have the key. So we need to mark the key off. Thank you, Razor. So we're coming back in here. I know I've seen this floor before. What are we coming back here for? Oh, we've already done this one too. Swampy's next. Swampy. No. No. I don't think they're tracking all their entrances properly as part of the problem too, because they're checking stuff that they shouldn't. Maybe they did Swamp. Okay, but still, they're checking stuff that they shouldn't be checking, which shows that either they didn't write everything down, or they're not relying on their notes as much as they should be. Or put it that way. You don't need both the... Maybe they're doing something. There, okay. I'm okay with that. Second ribbon on Chad. That's fine. Okay, so Vaughn asks us an interesting question. If you're 8 shards away, do you stop checking for shards and just go do Kraken and Tia? Yes. At this point, yes, I do. I think I've just resigned myself to the fact that I'm either swinging that Ice Sword or I'm going back for the Masamune. My armor's already good enough. Even if I don't find the tail, I feel like the armor for my fighter is good enough. Worst comes to worst, I can throw the white shirt on them and just hope that they can survive the 3 or 4 rounds of buffing they need to do. They've got the power bonk. Get a lucky fast off before Chaos kills them. Yeah, no, I think I go with what I have. And I'm just looking for shards and for my incentive items so I can get the hell out of the seed. And yeah, I mean, as Rubes points out, if you see a chest sense location along the way, sure, do it. Hey, look, fire too. Oh yeah, thank you, game. Like it's like I wouldn't check the couple boxes that are on the side of this floor, but if I was to walk past, say, a couple of the sea greeds that are just along the path, or if I get on a very chest dense floor like Sky 3 that we just saw earlier, I'd probably do like CC's Gambit and the 4 greeds. They only did the 4 greeds, which is fine, but still. Maybe check one of these rooms on the way past, but not both. That kind of thing. You want to be efficiently routing at this point. And hey, look, the Roo Stick. So that's... I am definitely not checking anything except incentives and the bosses now. I'm done. We are absolutely done here. Roo's on the fighter. Roo's on the fighter. Okay. Where? No, don't. Yeah, at the very least, if you're going to check both sides of this, do it with warp. You can warp back to the previous floor, and then you save half the steps you just did. Don't go for the Procreate Mastery, it's not worth it. I think we're only like 4 shards away from go, aren't we? And if we are, we still have a Tia fight to do, so... So I would just be looking for Tia. Tia and incentives. Yeah, Fellison, I can agree with putting the Roo Stick on the White Mage for now, and then moving it for the Chaos fight. Yay, slap. Still haven't found Lefane, or Melman for that matter. And Excal -3. Gross. So, about that Masamune. I mean, I'd probably still... Yeah, I'll take the Opal too. I'd probably still end up swinging the Excal and then swapping to... Maybe nothing, honestly. I'd probably still end up swinging the Excal, because the bonus damage off it, it's going to help to make up for its -3, although I don't know if it makes up enough. Like, raw numbers are beyond me at that point. Oh, look, a gold as well, -1. Why is everything negative now? Rude, game. Just rude. Here, equip everything, that's good. Now, here's the other thing. You went in there to do stuff, usually when because you're doing extra button presses each time, usually when I'm in a room like that, where there's 6 chests in a row, I will... Yes, I will go, when I find a piece of gear I need, I will go in and I'll menu to drop stuff, although I might have dropped a few extra things just on the off chance. But, I'm not equipping until I've done finishing checking that room, because then I don't have to enter back in to equip each time. It's a few steps saved, a few seconds saved, for what's probably, quote-unquote, gonna be a safe room to just collect all 6 boxes before you actually do your equipping. Because you're not only having to go in to drop each item, you're then going in each time to equip each item, and at that point you are definitely losing time, however you think about it. And you can be warping here. Please use your warps more. For all the ducklings, please use your warps more. The random eye encounter he just got does not make this worth it. Okay. Rubes is right. We needed to, take a couple more boxes, so that's fair. Which, in that case, go do CC's Gambit. There's 6 boxes right there waiting for you. Or 4. And then there's a 6-pack on the other side, which you can reset out of. Yeah. CC Gambit. Nothing here, reset. Thank you. 6-pack. It still makes the chest that he skipped earlier confusing to me. Plus, we also know that there's like, what, 2-3 shards over on Agama floor? There's our 2. Okay, so we only need Tiamat now. Warp. Please, please warp. There's nothing down there. Thank you. No, go save. Save this. Okay. We haven't seen Topher yet, but we know it's got to be at one of the locations we haven't checked. We haven't seen Canaria Castle yet, so that's 2 checks that we couldn't do. Canaria Locked is also incentivized, so once we find Canaria Castle and Topher, that's 3 more. 3 more incentives, one of which is likely going to be loot, and we probably don't have to turn in that slab. But also, still don't know what's that bottle. Arg. And this is not me being grumpy with you, Franklin. You're new. These are things that we all have done at one point. I've cleared the bottle out of my inventory and then forgotten it was there. It happens. This is more just a matter of, here are the things that you really should be paying attention to, especially if you want to play at a higher level. You have heals, by the way. I would probably use a couple of the heals that are sitting with the Cure 3 instead of doing heal potting because it's slightly faster. I have lost a race just due to the amount of time I spent potioning instead of using spells. Literally lost a lead that I had going into Topher because I was doing heal pots and they were burning their magic. Walk the other side. Don't walk that side. This is a dead floor. This is in my head. I call this C dead because there's nothing on this floor except encounters. So just run away from this floor. Hey now, Sin, you're a decent player. Don't sell yourself short. Yeah, C corridor, C whatever you want to call it. I like C dead because it emphasizes in my head. The floor is dead. There's nothing on it. I didn't see anything about Fairy Hint, Vaughn. Although, by the way, I wouldn't have ever seen it because I don't check hint givers. It's the risk I take to save myself a few frames. Whether or not that's worth it to you is another matter, but it's worth it to me. And a Cardia floor. Honestly, I'm resetting out of this. Out of the way, Dragon. Well, he can't because he didn't save his shard that he got. But I'm resetting out of this. Warp. Okay, this floor is safe, so you don't have to warp this one. Warp this floor. Thank you. Walk this one. It's short. Okay. That's another good walk. Warp. Warp. He's not warping the long floors, but he is warping the short floors, which really hurts my brain. How does warp work on C-split? It just warps you back up to the next floor. It always goes to the floor before the one you were hitting. So if you go and explore one C-split, and then you go and explore the other C-split, it won't take you back into the previous C-split. It's literally just going to warp you up to the upper floor above both of them. Yeah, last true exit, not last exit you touched. Here's Melmond. Maybe check this magic. Be very hesitant to buy it unless it's something super good. Exit's too late. We're too late on that now, guys. We've seen most all the floors. I don't feel like Exit's going to save you that much time in comparison to Warp at this point. Yeah, think about it like a stack of cards when you're talking about the splits. Because I love, apparently, card analogies. I'll use a card analogy for encounter tables as well. When you go from one floor to the next, you're stacking another card on top. When you hit a split, it's almost like thinking about like a split in blackjack. You put both cards on top. So when you come out of the split, when you're going back up from the split, you just take the cards off. When you go into the other split, you're putting cards on, and then you're taking them back off. So at that point, all that you have left is the rest of the stack down through the tower itself, not the splits. So the game only cares about what's beneath, not or in the stack of floors that you hit, not what's off to the other side. Can you tell that I dealt casino games? Because I dealt casino games, and everything is cards to me, or dice, or chips, or checks. There's nothing here, and you don't need the shards because you're gonna go fight Tiamat. I hope you're gonna. Well, okay. I mean, prove me wrong. Still, I think fighting Tiamat's faster, but whatever. We're here, the encounters are easy to avoid, may as well. Sure. Yeah, you definitely need to go do the princess. That's the only thing that matters. And you're saving... No! 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 Okay. Please. Please, Franklin. As long as we find the loot, I don't care that he did that. If loot's on Princess, I care a lot. Oh. When you find Topher, go kill Sarah. Just a hard rule, please. I'm just telling that to everyone. Do we not have enough saving items at this point? We've explored most of the game. Oh. Alright. Kill Sarah, kill for Sarah, whatever I said. I mean, also, again, we're this deep into the game, I don't think any hints matter. And we're... Oh, we don't have Oxyale, okay. And we didn't save the tents we just bought, so... Cool. Yeah, we don't know what's behind Rod Block, so we don't know if, like, Canary Castle might be down there. Like, Rod Block into Sarah, and you don't have Sarah, and you have to go do Sarah again, that would be really gross. I'm just saying. No one wants that. So, hey now, what check? What are we... We already did these. What haven't we done yet? Well, we haven't done Bottle Turn-In. We haven't done Slab Turn-In. And Slab has got to be at... Well, we have Slab, but we need to do... Where is Lefane? Did we see Lefane already? And this is why we take notes and do check marks. Because then we know what floors we've done. And here's Tiamat. Okay, so we could have done this way earlier if we just done Melman Continent after we did, like, Zarda. I mean, I get the idea of going down to Gaia and checking Gaia when you have the floater. But then you fly back up and you do Sarda, you do Titan, you do Earth Cave, you do Melmond. You bang those out. I think this amount of buffing is also not really necessary for Tiamat. Tiamat doesn't hit as hard as Kraken. Your fighter's already wearing a ribbon. Just fast, maybe power bonk once and go to town. And now just temper. Temper and damage. Raw, unadulterated damage. I mean, we could Bane Strat, but the Black Mage just died. But I agree. Bane or Brack or something. You need a Power Bonk. Yeah. There you go. And then just cast some Harp 3s. Keeping the Thief alive doesn't matter. He's just in the way. Okay. I mean, I get the idea of having the evasion tank, but you don't need it for Tia 1. Tia 2? Maybe. Tia 1, no. Bringing the Black Mage back up, because we want more Tempers. I respect that. Although I feel like we're doing enough damage at this point, it's probably not needed. Watch him get the kill and prove me wrong. Oh, hey, thank you. Appreciate it, game. I would, instead of swinging with everyone, wait, swing, wait, wait. Or wait, swing, wait, nuke. Thief's not going to do anything worthwhile. White Mage isn't going to do anything worthwhile. Well, the nuke did do it, but a swing from the fire would have killed him just as efficiently. So that's your 4. You still need your loot. Bottle, Sarah, Slab. And you don't have the bottle in your inventory, so I'm very worried about what you're going to do. A location we haven't checked. Hey, look! Okay, we want loot on King or on Treasury. If it's neither of those, I'm really worried. Useless shards that we could have gotten way long ago. I think we're actually now 3 up over where we need to be. Oh, and with the Vorpal hint, that probably means Vorpal's here. There's the Vorp. Can't use it. Hey, there's a Banesword that would have been great for Tia, too. Not that you know. I'm just saying. If you checked this area earlier and you went from Sarda across, you'd have the Banesword before you got to Tia. Tia would be useful. You never know how the game's going to lay out, but I'm just, in this particular instance, it's there. Crit on that Vorpal -1 is still kind of nice, I will say. Put enough Temper on it, it's going to be pretty good. I mean, obviously you need to be able to class change. We don't have Tail yet. And the ship. If we exited out and saved, we can just reset from this. The 10% experience isn't worth keeping it. So, Bottle, Sarah, or Slab. He's remembered he hasn't actually gotten Sarah. So we're losing a minute and a half here having to do this. Probably thereabouts. I'm not going to do an exact count, but minute and a half. Yeah, whereas if we had just checked Sarah at the time. So you probably forgot, you probably didn't realize, and that's fair. I'm not arguing that. You're still new. These are things that come with time. But when you find Topher location, kill Sarah, as we said earlier. Don't save her, kill her. She'll show back up at the castle, she'll respawn, it's fine. She camps. She camps the castle, waiting for you. Still haven't seen Elf Prince, but we don't have herbs, so we can... No, where... Are we just... Are we burning? You don't need to burn in Topher. Topher has nothing to worry you. You're fine. And I don't think you can get encounters in... No, I think you can get encounters in this room. I think I've gotten one before. It was rude. Can't do that yet. Okay, you knew that. Good. And we're running away. I would have saved after getting Sarah out, just in case, because the river and tiles here can actually be gross. Silver Knife against a Garland is nice. I mean, he's really low level, and your Black Mage is high enough level that Silver Knife's going to do some work. So we come back here to Canaria Castle at... Yep, at this. And is this our loot? It is! We could have had this 3 minutes ago. So. Womp womp. Now, the thing about not checking it until now, this area, is that, of course, obviously, we get to do Topher into Canaria Castle, as opposed to Canaria Castle, mark it down, come back after we do Topher. but the time loss isn't huge. You come in, you check the key, you get the Vorpal. Are we looking for something else now? Or are we just going to go to Topher? Guess we're just going to go to Topher, and I respect that. Your build-out's good enough. And yeah, it's time to get this seed done. Ice Sword +4 is going to have to do work. Oh, short Topher. It's not even mid Topher. Okay, we're fine. Maybe grab the coral for Kraken. I could see that. Maybe. But, I mean, by that reasoning, keep the Flame Sword then, so you can use that against Lich. Just saying. Ice Shield +2 is also... Okay. I don't think you have a good shield, so the Ice Shield would actually be nice to have. But okay. We roll. And we're just going to swing. I would still fast. You don't want to see what Lich has, and you're not built to do a ton of damage to him. Especially because you threw away the Fire Sword. I wouldn't bother rusing, though. Damage is good. What level was Temper at? Was that 2? I think it was 2. And fast is 4. So burning a fire 2 charge there was fine. You're gonna have to fight Kraken again, or Lich again. He doesn't stay dead. I'm not sure you realized that. The bosses in Topher are tiles, so you have to fight them every time you walk over them. You can, in fact, do a grind on them, even. We've seen that before. Or you can be like me and stupidly walk back over them when you wanted to go heal. See, this is what we didn't want to see. We didn't want to see a blizzard on him. I mean, unless we're deciding to do a Lich 2 grind, which I wouldn't with Blizzard. That would be bad. Not ideal. Experience isn't that great. Into Carrie. Carrie's the first one you should actually start rusing for. You gotta give her some respect. Power Bonk's okay. White Shirt's good. Cast a fast. You've got plenty of those charges. Good stuff. Good enough. Ooh, that's gross. Insta-nuke! I think we got the fast off, though, so I don't think we care. Keep him down. We'll pick him up afterwards. If you want to cure for the White Mage, that's fair. I wouldn't bother lifing, though. Especially because there was a good chance... Okay, good. I was gonna say, don't bother lifing, because if she's on a spell list, she'll just kill the Black Mage again before he can do something. Good. Okay, we're through that. This Carrie is the first one you actually have to respect. She can be gross. Okay. I would burn a couple Cure 4s. I wouldn't bother doing the slow heal here. I might burn 4 Cure 4s. You've got 6? 5? 5, 6? Something like that? Save one in the pot for Chaos. But probably burn 3 or 4 of them here. You also have Heal 2 with Cure 3. I might use some Cure 3s instead of all the heal pots. Okay, Fast comes off. White Shirt. Lightning 2. Totally not scary. Power Bonk. Ruse, good first turn. Fantastic first turn. Nuke's good. White Shirt. Fire should be fine now if he gets punched. Nuke for some quick chip damage. Swing. You took the Coral Sword, didn't use it, didn't need it, that's fine, but you did take the Coral, so... And I think we have a Dragon Sword in our inventory as well that we're not using. If we're just going to be picky about stuff. This is me picking on the Loot Goblin from a subtle direction. If you're gonna Loot Goblin, use the loot you goblined. If you're not going to use the loot, don't Loot Goblin so much. pretty sure I saw Dragon come in, but he may not have kept it. So 200 there, Ruse. White Mage is dead. We're not bringing anyone back now. Well, that's fun. Oops. Yeah, just nuke. Ouch. That could have been better. That could have been better. Okay. Wait, swing, nuke. Or, okay, I mean, chip damage is fine. I don't feel like it's going to do a lot, but sure. Also, we now... Pro Ring coming in clutch. Also, we now have a dead White Mage, so we want to make sure we move that ribbon off afterwards. One lock cast is fair. We did get it. May as well use it. There we go. Okay. Move the ribbon off, heal everyone up, put the White Straw on the Black Mage. I would then put... Oh, and put the Ruse on the Fighter. So that you can do... Wait, Ruse, Fast. Wait, Ruse, White Shirt. Wait, Swing, Temper. Did we refight Tiamat? So, I've done this, not on this floor, but I've done this. This is why I always make sure I move my party to their next location before I do a big healing after fighting one of the Temple of Fiends. Because I have a tendency to walk back over their tiles when I don't mean to. And unfortunately now we're going to have to burn another Fast, burn another Temper, lose some of the resources we need. Maybe another nuke. Yeah, so... This happens. Oh. Well, that's nice to know it's not on Chaos, at least. I think you've over-rused at this point. But that's fine. Just do a nuke. Just do a nuke. There you go. You can only get 3 shots of Ruse, 6 shots of White Shirt, or a combination thereof. So, like, 2 + 2, or 1 + 4, or something like that. So you may as well stick to that. Like, doing more Ruse doesn't add any benefit past that point. And you've definitely over-rused now. Thank you!
Yeah, you're welcome as well.
My wife brought me coffee. So coffee and bagel. Yes. So now it's not even... Well, I mean, Thief was just going to wait for me anyway, so... So now we want to heal. We want to move that ribbon. We want to move that White Shirt. And we want to move the Ruse. Make sure you get the ribbon on there, too. I don't know if I saw him do that. And make sure you put your casting items up front, because it's just faster for menuing. Ruse and Fast. Fast first. Now we get the Fast out of the way just because you never know how long that Black Mage is going to last. And your fighter can continue rusing if he doesn't get the White Shirt casts on him. But your Black Mage really desperately needs to get that Fast going right now. That's his one job, is literally to Fast. So you got 3 shots of evasion, but Chaos is, for the most part, missing. It's fine. Tempers. Good. And I'd start swinging on the next turn. Yeah, I don't think he's wearing that ribbon. Okay. Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I might have even put the White Mage or Black Mage up front if I was to have done this fight. Fighter 3rd slot. Black Mage just needs to... Wow. Black Mage just needs to cast Fast, and then he can die. It's a fairly kind Chaos, all things considered. Mostly punching. Hasn't shown anything yet that's too gross. Huge swing there. Okay. So. We're good on that. let's discuss. Let's go back over and discuss some notes now. What did we learn? 1, make sure to always save Sarah, or kill her, or however you want to put it. Take good notes and make sure you're referencing your notes, and be consistent about the pathing you're taking on the overworld as well as what you're doing in dungeons. You might have been done with shard hunting like 10-15 minutes earlier if you'd been checking some of the rooms you skipped. Hard to know. Definitely you would have been done much faster if you'd gone to Tiamat like 15 minutes earlier than you did. You never turned in Bottle, which I'm still concerned what might have been there. That might have been Tail. I don't know if it helped you because you didn't find Bahamut, who was probably behind Rodlock. But these are the things we'd point out. It's a combination of things. There's a lot of little things for you to improve to pick up speed. But there's also like some big things like your overworld routing and your dungeon routing. And don't get me wrong, I'm still practicing my overworld routing because the map can be confusing at times. I've only just now gotten to the point where I know to go south from Mirage to get over to the Matoya, Provoca, Canaria area instead of flying all the way back up north. Like, these are the things we learn with time. So, but yeah, I think overall, like, it's not your bad, your play isn't bad, you've got your fast resets, you're doing those well, you know to burn encounters, although sometimes you burn a little too much, your basic combat's decent, you know what to do there. I didn't have a lot of critiques there, mostly it was on routing and the decisions you were making. So, and that comes with just learning and time and being more comfortable with the game. So, but you're doing well. I don't have a lot to complain about here, even if it sounds like I did. I could complain a lot more about my own play, trust me. Any other questions from chat before we wrap this up? Seems like we're good. Sinpyro's agreeing with me that time will fix most of those decisions and just practice. So I think we're good. Thank you for everyone coming in and watching and commenting and hanging out. Your questions and comments really did help. Pointed some stuff out that I was not paying attention to, and that was much appreciated. We'll probably be doing more VOD reviews. I mean, anytime someone wants a VOD review, we'll do them, and I'll get someone to do them, and then we'll post them on the wiki, and we'll have a bunch of content for anyone practicing to learn. But until then, we've got a VOD review coming up at 7:30 with Chanigan looking over... Who was it? Let me double check that. I've already forgotten names. Oh, wow. Chanigan will be reviewing Mechlin. There we go. Same seed, so, I mean, you'll see the stuff that we've already seen here, because this is the practice seed that's getting played. But you'll get different input and based on different decisions, so that will help you guys out, and you'll learn more. Chanigan's really good at this game. I'm really okay. So he'll give you a lot of stuff that I didn't say, and he'll probably have pointers that'll matter. But until then, thank you guys for watching, and we will continue on with this rally another day.